Hello, my name is Naomy Iyodusenga, and I'm going to talk about the project called The Creation and Recreation of Venus under the goal called Experience Art. The outline of what you are going to look about in this presentation, it includes overview of the two painters, Titian and Manet, the description of Titian and Manet's painting, and the similarities of both paintings, and the differences of both paintings, and the historical and cultural contexts of both paintings, and then references. The overview of Titian, and this is the other name of Titian, which is Tiziano Vecellio. Titian was born between 1488 and 1490. It means that the exact year where they think Titian was born is between those years that are mentioned here, 1488 and 1490. He was born in Italy as a Venetian, especially. So Titian led to the achievement of Renaissance art. So he also funded the creation or the putting into existence of Renaissance art, and he pursued a career of painting, where he was doing the paintings and altarpieces and mythologies. The overview of Manet Edward. He was born in 1832 and he passed away in 1883. He was born in France and mainly in the capital city of Paris. He did a career of art in Paris. That's where he took all his career. Yeah, that's where he pursued all his career. And he is well known on the work called Olympia. So Olympia was part of the portraits that have been known by many people. The second slide presentation talks about Venus of Urbino. This is the painting made by Titian Vecellio. So the composition of this painting is the foreground of the portrait, and there is a naked woman lying on bed. She has a bracelet on her arm and she has a flower in her hand, and there is a puppy on her feet, and there is a young lady standing in front of a young girl kneeling in the background. They appear in the background. And more of this portrait, it shows there is, should I say, a dark wall? Yes, it is a dark wall that appears in the background of this picture of a lady lying in bed. So the reason as to why Titian used this black wall, it was for people who, for the audience who are going to see this portrait, for them to see this clear image of this lady who is naked, because she is the subject matter in this portrait. So the subject matter is in this portrait is the nudity of this lady, or due to the fact that she looks nude, she has the portrait shows nudity of this lady. It sometimes might imply prostitution, and the style here is Renaissance. Olympia, Manet's painting. So Manet's Edward made a painting called Olympia. The composition of this painting, we see in the foreground a woman lying in bed. She is wearing a bracelet and a necklace, and she has shoes on her feet, and she has a big flower in her head, and in the background there is a black woman holding flowers and a black cat besides the black woman. And the subject matter is also the same as before. It is nudity, and this nudity portrait or artwork might imply the prostitution as a subject matter. So the style here is realism. The similarities of both portraits, like both portraits, trying to compare them, they like both ladies, they lay on bed and they are all naked, like they are both naked. Like the lady that was painted by Edward and the lady that was painted by Titian is also naked. So they share the same nudity portraits, and they both have servants. One is white and the other one is a black woman, and they both cross their feet and they wear bracelets, like those ladies that are in the, like, that represents the portraits of all those painters. They have they both have domestic animals. The differences of both portraits: the Venus of Urbino made by Titian, she has a dog as a domestic animal, and she has a flower in her hand, and she has a white servant. There is a young girl kneeling down in the background, while the Manet's Edward portrait, which is known as Olympia, there is a lady, she wears a necklace while the other one didn't wear one, and she has shoes on, and the other one she didn't have one, and she has a flower in her hair, and she has a cat as a domestic animal, and she has a black servant. The historical and cultural context about the paintings. The Olympia painting was painted in 1863 by Edward Manet. This artwork was painted in France. It is in the 19th century Parisian prostitute. So it means that it was made when prostitution was taking place in France a lot. So this is part of what I made as research. And Manet took inspirations on the Renaissance artist Titian in order to paint Olympia. This painting was focusing on a specific fact of a modern life. And Venus of Urbino, as the painting made by Titian, the portrait was was painted in the years of 1538 by Titian, and this portrait was painted in Italy, especially in Urbino. It was painted for a wedding purpose. Guidobaldo II with Giulia Verano. This artwork reached Florence by Vittoria della Rovere in 1631. Actually, it was Duke's gift to his young wife. Like it was a gift from Duke to his young wife. It represented the allegory of marriage. And these are some of the references that you might go on for some of more information about this representation that I have made.